kick things off by looking at stock market performance over the last 24 hours. Here in the UK, the FTSE 100 was up 1.1%, whilst the FTSE 250 was up marginally, up 0.1%. Over in the US, the S&P 500 was up 0.2%, whilst the Nasdaq was down minus 0.2%. European equities were also stronger, up 0.6%, whilst overnight Japanese equities were down marginally, down 0.4%. So across the board, we saw positive returns from global equities, good news, recovering some of Tuesday's falls, but it was the UK stocks that were the standout performer, with some individual companies outperforming, the likes of Next, who upgraded their profit guidance for the fourth time in the last 6 months, after sales grew at a much faster pace. AstraZeneca also did well. They announced that completion of a takeover of Calium Biosciences. What else gave the FTSE 100 a real boost was a noticeable depreciation in the pound. The pound fell again yesterday, off nearly 1% against the US dollar, below 135 level, now back at its lowest level since the end of last year. There are a number of factors influencing the pound's depreciation. On the one hand, we've seen a rapid increase in the price of natural gas. We've seen petrol shortages due to the lack of lorry drivers, and this is pushing up near-term inflation expectations and moderating some of the economic growth expectations as well. On the other hand, you've seen some of risk-off sentiment, which tends to boost the US dollar. Why you see FTSE 100 stocks do well, it's because a lot of the companies are international companies generating their revenues from abroad, mainly in US dollars. So when you translate those back to pound, you get an additional kicker. US equities delivered positive returns, value outperforming growth, while defensive sectors doing the best, with utilities leading. Washington remains an area of uncertainty for the market. Congress is on track to avert a government shutdown, as Democrats are expected to pursue a standalone funding measure that should secure sufficient Republican support. However, whether the debt ceiling increase will actually come through is uncertain at this stage. In terms of other key events yesterday, we had the latest election in Japan for their new Prime Minister, where we saw Fumio Kishida win. It is expected this should be positive for Japanese stock markets because of his pro-growth policy, his pledge for more stimulus to support their economic recovery and help address that widening income gap. Earlier this morning, we had data from China. We had the Chinese PMI survey data. This is a monthly survey of businesses across manufacturing, services and construction in order to get a foothold on the current economic conditions. The official manufacturing reading fell just below 50, meaning there is a contraction in output for the first time in February since last year. Looking at the underlying components, there was a fall in new orders, exports, and you're seeing those input prices remaining well ahead of the output prices. However, looking at the outlook, it did signal a positive future expectations. Manufacturing weakness contrasted with a surprisingly sharp bounce in non-manufacturing, now well above that important 50 level at 53.2, coming from 47.5 last month. The growth was entirely driven by the services sector rather than construction. We'll get the same data out from the likes of Europe, the UK and the US tomorrow, so we'll be watching out for those. In bond markets, it was a fairly quiet day, very different to what we've seen early on this week and last week. no real movements to touch on. The UK 10-year government bond yields trading at 0.89%, whilst the US 10-year government bond yields trading at 1.54. Commodities were slightly weaker. Gold was down at 0.7%. Oil Brent crude was fairly flat over the day, up 0.2% and trading at $78 a barrel. Today, there will be a few key economic data points to watch out for. We'll get the inflation numbers from Germany, Italy and France. In the US, we'll get the latest reading on the number of people claiming unemployment benefits. We'll also be looking out for the developments in the US regarding their debt ceiling increase. That's all for today. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Subscribing to the True Potential YouTube channel is quick and easy. Simply go to the channel on your desktop or through the YouTube app on your phone and click the subscribe button. You can then press the notification bell symbol if you wish to be notified as and when new videos are released. Doing this is a great way to keep yourself updated with market developments and personal finance insights. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and we look forward to continuing to help you do more with your money.